So we here after popular demand, after several Facebook posts, after several discussions, group discussions, and making sure that for the culture, we decided to go ahead and unite ourselves and just have these discussions in a podcast format, in a show format. And as of right now, it's just three brothers in a barbershop. And we're going to discuss a number of topics that come up either through social media, through our own perspectives. We'll have a lot of dialogue that we'll cover. We'll eventually have special guests, people to come in and add their input. So this is a great opportunity for us during this time to just have some fellowship, have some good discussion, and bring y'all into the barbershop. My name is Aaron Lucas. Some people just know me as Luke. Some people know me as A5. Number of different monikers, but I'm one all in the same. And I just want to take time to thank these brothers for coming together and giving ourselves an opportunity just to have a platform to socialize, get back out here and talk about the culture, talk about what's going on in the communities, and hopefully relay a message that people want to hear. So to my left, to your right, is a good friend of mine. I've known him for a very long time. I consider him my little brother. People know him also as Luke. I call him Pastor Snacks, but I'll give him an opportunity to introduce himself.
What's up? It's Reverend Coach Lucas Hargrove, Pontiac, South Carolina native. I'm so glad to be here with these two guys, Snacks and Luke. I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and this podcast, this show is going to be about the facts. I think everything needs to start with facts. A lot of people talk about things that they don't have a lot of experience with. They don't have a lot of education on. So we're going to come with the facts. And I think you guys will love this show. It should be fantastic. You got a lot of credibility up here. You got a lot of guys with fantastic resumes. So I'm excited to be here. First thing, let me say, first podcast, first time, Auburn University, Auburn alum. Understand that. That's what my heart is. That's where I come from. Let me go ahead and put the PSA out. Any topics relating to Auburn, I'm going to be a little bit biased.
So we have heard from Reverend Coach Pastor Snacks, Lucas Hargrove. Right. And now to my right, to your left, entrepreneur, Irmo, Broad River's finest. Urban legend.
Just here for the people, man. Urban legend.
And the community ambassador who I've met through hooping, through different paths, through walks of life, through different people. We also know him as Snacks. And I'll let him introduce himself.
I go by the name of Snacks, baby. Broad River guy, you know. I'm just here, man. I'm going to talk a lot, so let's get to it, man. Let's have some fun, man. I'm glad to be here with these guys. It's a pleasure. Loop. So let's figure it out, man. Let's get to it. Let's have some fun.
Prior to us actually getting together and recording, we've had some very, I don't want to say controversial, but very intense conversations about sports. Of course, we will cover some of that because all of us have really been brought together through basketball, through sports in general, but mainly through basketball. So I want to jump right into a topic and a discussion that I think we all hold near and dear to our hearts because we've come through the culture. We've seen, basketball culture grow. But when we think about the current state of basketball, and we have young athletes who are primarily training just in that sport, just working on that one sport and have that one dream of making it, right? You take all of that work, you put them in a setting, in an arena where they have the opportunity to make it.
Correct.
then they make it. They get that scholarship. They get that chance to show and prove, so to speak. The ones that excel. The ones that don't end up staying in college for 3 or 4 years. I stayed in college for 4 years in hoop. I believe Luke stayed in 4 years. But now you have this culture of one and dones where these kids, 18 years old, 19 years old, are going into college, not even fully aware of the experience itself, but going into college strictly to hoop, to live out that dream. They live out the dream, and then they have an opportunity to get drafted. Right? Years and years have gone by where this cycle's occurring. Tell me how y'all feel. Tell me what's your thoughts on the one and done, A, the one and done process, but B, the oversaturation in the NBA of young kids that really haven't grown up but are now thrust into this adult league and, dealing with all the things that come with it.
I guess I'll go first. I mean, my thing of one and done, I think it's a good thing, man. There's so much money out there to be made. Like, I think that's the main thing. Like, NBA got $250 million contracts right now. So, end of the day, you got to work. You're working to get money. You know what I'm saying? NBA is a job, and it's a business. So, first of all, it's a job. Your job is to play basketball for money. You going to college to get a job, right? So, why not? If you go for 1 year, if you good enough, go to the league, So, I mean, I think it's just so much money out there and so many endorsements. Like, first year you can make $100 million. Like, you know what I'm saying, in contracts, you know what I'm saying? So, like Zion, or not even saying just him, or like you might get a contract in China, or a shoe deal or something like that. It's so much money to be made. I think it's a good thing that you can go to the league after 1 year. But then again, there's I know some kids who got lost after that. So it's two parts of the story. But I don't think that.
Let me jump in right there, Snacks. Number one, I'm all about you being able to have the decision. I'm all about you being able to have a decision. If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Everybody know that. If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. But the problem is, I'm also big on the college education and the college maturation process. As far as a lot of kids go too early, whether it be people in their head telling them this or that, or whether it be these kids be in dire straits. I mean, most of the guys that I know that were excellent in basketball, they don't come from $1 million homes. They don't come from money. So it's got to be the child's decision, or the kids or student athletes or whatever you want to call it. No disrespect to nobody. It got to be their decision to go pro or not. But at the same time, I think it needs to be some kind of process or some kind of education development there to let them know what they're getting themselves into.
Let me jump in when Snacks talks about there's money to be made.
Correct.
And you've discussed, kids coming from, various economic backgrounds where, that is the life. That $100 million, that $3 million, for example, is a huge difference to a kid that's come up from nothing. Yeah. Now, the question really lies in the education, the things that you have going on, and, people not having an opportunity to really grow. Again, we're talking about 18, 19-year-olds that have been catered to their whole lives, even though they come from difficult backgrounds, difficult situations. They've been catered to. They still live a life within that struggle, if that makes sense. So now you throw them into college where, again, they are just catered to. Nobody's addressing the mentality, the mindset. So now when they get to the league, where you've got guys that have gone through something, that have learned how to manage their money, that have, lived their life, have families, mature enough to handle that. Now you just keep, every year it seems like we keep throwing in more kids and more kids and more kids that don't know how to handle it. So that's where they flame out.
They do, but I mean, my thing is, ain't no different from a singer quitting school and going somewhere. Beyonce she might not still have a GED. Like sometimes, like now in the days where my philosophy, I don't think you need school. That's just you know what I'm saying, as
Definitely
much.
trade schools
You know what I'm saying?
are a lot.
So I don't think you need school as much. So it's like, why not go one? These kids already know, man. I cut a lot of kids here as I work in the barbershop. And I know kids in school right now say, man, school ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in school. I'm just going for basketball. Like, if they wasn't basketball, they wouldn't be there anyway. So it's like, why stay 4 years? You know what I'm saying?
School definitely ain't for everybody. I'm like I said earlier, I'm an Auburn grad. I went all 4 years, 3.1 or something like that. Not an A student, but school definitely ain't for everybody. 3.1 ain't bad. Yo, I'm eating. But school is definitely not for everybody. That's just the bottom line. Now, do these kids got to go for the first semester, 6 months, the one and done kids? Yes, but and this is my question to you two. I got a great question. In my opinion, 80% of kids that are one and done, or 80% of kids back when we was coming out of high school, 80% of kids should not go. Now 20% of them should. You got Kobe, Zion could have came out of high school, one and done. You got John Walls, you got all these 20% of the one and dones are legit one and dones. But how do we get to the kids that shouldn't be one and dones, that they are not one and done players? How do you deal with that?
And that's, to me, that goes back to the original question of the league being saturated with you have those one in a millions. You have them generational players, your Zions, your Kobe's, your KG's, guys like that, and probably some other guys that probably could have went straight out of high school. You got those guys. But every year we got these other things going on. So to me, the original question was more so, is the league being saturated or being is it being dulled down by kids that don't really know how to play? They have the abilities, they have the talent and the skill set, but are they still representing the product that we know and the product that was known before us?
It's a necessary evil because to have oversaturation, because who are we to tell a kid, I guess, that he can play or he can't play? And I think you don't find out till you get to practice. You don't find out till you get in the game. You don't find out
which is
that
fine.
first stretch of the
But
season.
when you're watching the NBA right now, right, and we got old school game on TV right now, when we're looking at right now, are you satisfied with the product as a hooper? I don't mean just as a fan. I mean as a hooper. Are you looking at it and saying, that's basketball? Or are you just saying, I can't wait to see this kid, or I can't wait to see this person or this person, not the game?
I'm not satisfied with the product just because the way the NBA is, the game's 130 to 130. So that part of the game is different. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the 98 to 90 games, or the 92 to the 85 games. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the skill level is not satisfying. Everybody can shoot now and score and shoot threes, but the game is different, which is okay. Everything changed. I ain't mad at that. But go to your question, is basically one and done. It's more than just the NBA now. That's the difference. So it's like, okay, you going to the NBA. What if I don't make it? What if I get in the D League? I still might get 100, 200,000 or a two-way contract or something like that. Like, what's your goals? Some kids' goals now is just to get $200,000, which is a great job, and travel the world. And so who doing that at 19? So then you got overseas. Then you got the TBT tournament, which is schools. Like, you could get money playing basketball. So why not shoot your shot while you healthy and while you can? Because life is about right now. As we know, during the pandemic, life is about right now. So you got to do it while you can. So I think that I think now more than ever, that's why kids are going, because so many different outlets. Let's say I don't make it to the league, and then I get on the TBT team with overseas elite, and we win $1 million. And now I just won $150,000 in 2 months.
Shout out to my guy John Dre Jefferson and overseas elite, one time.
So I mean, or I go to play in 2 leagues like Murphy or somebody like that, Murphy Holloway, go overseas and have a good 10-year career. BJ Mackey had 13, never played in the NBA, 13-year career. So it's other outlets besides the NBA. So now it's way more everybody on TV. What was the goal back in the 90s?
Let me say this.
You want to play on TV, right?
I'll be careful with we only worried about today, as far as a lot of kids, you're right, can't go overseas and get a contract.
Which is a whole nother struggle. We'll talk about that later. But that's a whole nother struggle.
The original question. What was the original question?
The original question is, with the one and dones coming in, does the NBA product? Now we have other outlets, but does the NBA product itself, has it been dulled?
Well, let me answer that first. For the NBA regular season, no, I could care less about the product. That's just what. And you talking to guys who live basketball. So the regular season, no. As far as the playoffs go, I'm tuning in to every game. It's that big of a difference. In the regular season, I could care less. If I might eat dinner, don't pay attention to the game. In the playoffs, I gotta know what's going on. Every game. I'm talking about from first round to end. In the playoffs, I care. I think the intensity level is ramped up. Every defense is ramped up. All this is ramped up. Now, with that being said, of course, Christmas Day, they got the big matchups. Opening night, they got the big matchups. 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times during the year, you got the greats playing, Giannis and Bron or Chris Paul and whoever, and that's all fine and dandy. But as far as the regular season go, no, they don't play any defense. It's just not my style of basketball. Like, nobody's locking up. Like you said, 130, 140. I mean, and that's appeasing to some people. But
I think it's in a good place, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that, first of all, what was your goal in the 90s? Right? What was your goal in the 90s?
I wanted to go to school for free.
I mean, I'm saying, like, far as being your goal playing basketball, to be on TV.
Yeah.
Not every game is on TV. You know what I'm saying? Now it's 10 games on Christmas Day, which was 2 back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's better now because we get to see it more. You get to see your child, your cousin play, your friend, this guy who went to college with you. It's more opportunity. So what makes TV? More money. That's why the contract's bigger. So end of the day, it's about money. It's a job. So I think it's in a better place just because you get more money for the pay. Same amount of games. NBA ain't never changed the games. Right. You know what I'm saying? So why are we playing in the league? To get money, right? So I think it's in a good place. It's just like you say, the product of the NBA, I think it's global. People getting better contracts and they retiring. These dudes in the 2000s, they ain't bankrupt.
I think he hit the nail on the head with the what is your goal? That needs to be defined for every kid, every child. What is your goal? Because is your goal to get a scholarship to go to school for free? This is a side story. We ain't gonna get on this. Hey, everybody talking about D1, which is obviously great to play, great to be in, but the goal is to go to school for free. Whether you D3, NAIA, D2, whatever you are, you trying to not have student loans. Of course, you want to go D1, but for you 16,
is that really the goal? To go to school for free, or the goal is to keep playing basketball?
I think
they go hand in hand. I think so.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. I'm just asking, like,
I think
because I know a lot of kids who probably would not go to school if it wasn't for basketball. You know what I'm saying? So that is the goal, to go to school for free. I don't care about school. I never played college basketball, but
that was my personal goal.
Yeah, it was your parents' personal goal.
No, that was my personal goal because it would have been very hard if I didn't get a scholarship. It would have been very hard, but you can get a student loan. You can figure it out if you really want to go to school without playing basketball, or if you want to go to school and you just want to play basketball, you can get on regular.
Do you think it would have been a personal goal if you went to Benedict, or you was talented enough to go to Auburn? So now it's like, I want to go to school. So it's like I think it's a different level to it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
But but what I was talking about to start this was you hit the nail on the head with the goals. What is your goal? I think it's important to have a goal because a lot of kids don't have a goal. A goal can't be. A goal can be I want to go to the NBA. I'm not capping nobody's dreams, but I think we need intermediate goals. You need several goals. You don't need one goal to go to the NBA. You may not accomplish that goal, but if you have intermediate goals in between that, then you can still be successful without going to the NBA. It's like 0.2 or 0 point something. Nobody makes it to the NBA, bro. It's 400 people in the league.
So that segues to the next subject. And this is more personal perspective. This is your viewpoint on where sports is today, but more so, how has it impacted your life, right? Mm-hmm. I had an opportunity. Sports is taking me around the world. It's giving me a free education. It's giving me an opportunity to meet people from all walks of life that are still friends to this day. Sports took you to a certain point, but it also, I'm pretty sure, gave you a certain work ethic, a certain drive to where you're an entrepreneur, right? You own things, you move how you want to move, and you do things. But the question is, how has sports impacted your view of life and the world?
I think sports is a major impact in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because sports bring people together. Number one, so like it ain't a lot of people watch a game by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Number one, so like sports bring people together, and it's an expression. Sports expresses yourself. Sometimes it make you be somebody who you really ain't. For 2 hours, you somebody like you a whole nother person.
Seeing that all the time.
I had a shorty like yo, this dude crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? For them 2 hours, I'm another person. So I think sports brings an expression out you and sometimes a certain calm and a certain peace out of some people. And it brings camaraderie. A lot of facts in life. I can name 100 things, to be honest with you. Sometimes it brings stability in kids' life, where they got father figures and you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So it brings some coaches take kids in, you know, and taking them home, and now cause they father or their parents ain't in their life. So it's like, you know, now you being there for somebody, you don't know how it's gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? You blessing kids or even college kids. So I think that it had a major impact. And I work in the barbershop, so that's all we watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it brings when it's a good game on, it's different. It's a different kind of energy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's an excellent question. And this is a bold statement I'm about to make, and I've said this for years, and this is where I stand with it. In my life, you said personally. So in my personal life, God comes first. That's just the way it is with me. Do I make mistakes? Yes. Am I perfect? By no means am I not perfect, but I strive to live my life as God wants us to live our life. Secondly is family. My immediate family, I have a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids, Pontiac, South Carolina, all of this. After that, I have put education and sports very close on that next step, on that third level, because of this. A lot of people talk education. But to me, education is also how you mature in life. Think about it, when you play sports, you lose games, you win games. You sometimes you have to ride the bench. Sometimes you're the star player. You have to deal with just a general gambit of emotions. You have to deal with a plethora of things that will prepare you for life, in my opinion. We talk about playing sports is when we young as a youth, and you can't tell me that you don't have fond memories of when you were younger playing sports. Those memories last for a lifetime. You want to get, now you're talking about getting a job. Getting a job is networking. You're not cold sending out a resume nowadays and getting a job. Oh, but I played high school with this guy. High school basketball, I know this guy. Oh, I played against him in the ACC. I played against him in the SEC. Oh, I remember him. He was on TV. Networking. What better way to network than sports? You have your sororities and fraternities. You have your neighborhoods and things like that, of course. But when you talk about networking, what's a better network than a sporting arena?
I met a lot of people. Like you said, he set it off. A lot of lifetime people.
That's how we got here. We got here through sports.
You know what I'm saying? So I met a lot of lifetime people, coaches, and we connect through sports. So what you think? What's your opinion?
I mean, for me, like I said, and I've said this a million times to kids that I've spoken to, coming from South Carolina, in that sense, whether it be Pontiac, whether it be Columbia, Charleston, Irmo, wherever, we don't necessarily, in my opinion, because it's not a big city. It's not New York. It's not Atlanta. It's not Miami. I never had a big view, big scope of what the world offered. My vision, my viewpoint was always South Carolina. What South Carolina brought to the table, that's what my ceiling was. Until I went to the university, where we traveled all over the country.
Every
we
2-3 times a week.
You know, you on the go all the time. Yeah. So now your view broadens. But
and going on, you went to several countries.
Well, that's what I was getting to. even with traveling at the university, I'm still home. So again, my ceiling, even though I can, like the ceiling now
It's
is
a
a
little
glass
broader,
ceiling, I
but
can
you-
see a
yeah,
little bit
yes.
more, but I still have this ceiling of, okay, this is still South Carolina. Until I get thrown in Vilnius, Lithuania, out the blue, where I'm the only black person in the country, and coming from the South, you already know what type of baggage
Don't really know
I
the
bring.
language.
I don't know the language. I don't know any of that. So at this point, I'm in, you're in a different country. I was there for 3 weeks, and then we go to Australia. So now I'm like, why haven't I prepared myself to see these things all this time? You know what I'm saying? I was just going through, you just go through it just because that's what's in your, in your immediate viewpoint. I'm just hooping. I don't know where this thing's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know nothing that's out there until you get out there and you're like, man, I don't even want to come back home. My goal was to retire and move to Belgium.
When you experience new things like that, it's exciting.
It was extremely exciting. I've been to more countries than I've been major cities.
And back to what I was saying, the experiences that you gain during that are immeasurable. I mean, you're talking about someone who came from a situation that was small, really. You're talking about neighborhoods and streets and high schools and this and this. And then you go to a statewide, countrywide level. And then now we're talking nations in different countries and things like that. And all of these are necessities for life. These skills that you learned are necessities for life. I cannot stand when parents minimize the definition of what sports mean. I can't stand that because sports are huge. Of course, your child needs to make A's and B's. Of course. They get in trouble in school, they talk and they need to be punished. Okay. But sports are hugely effective in shaping a kid. I just
no doubt.
would never change from that because of the fact you learn things that you need for life. That's just the bottom line. You're going to learn how to accept losses. You're going to learn how to communicate with people, which is probably the number one thing. And lastly, but not least, you're going to learn what type of person you are. You're going to learn internally what kind of person you are because immediately when I have one of my daughters, she's in gymnastics. She was amazing. She's absolutely phenomenal in gymnastics. Okay, I'm her parent, but still, I think so. She lost one of her gymnastics meets after she was used to winning them. And, she was a little down, a little crying and all this other stuff. And that's fine. But we can't, the lesson that I was giving to her is you got 30 minutes, you got an hour, you might cry for a little while after this meet, but we got to prepare for the next meet. That's what life is about. Life, when you go to an interview and you don't get that job, we don't got a week to cry. We don't got 2 weeks to cry. What we need to be applying for the next interview. And that's a direct thing that she can take from sports and apply to her life. So sports, the sporting world, the sporting realm, however you want to put it, is hugely impactful.
I tie that back to some things that impacted me later on in life. Because my career stopped 10 years before I planned to. Because once I got overseas, I learned how to set goals. And I started attaining goals. And then life happens. Life happens. You have to move. You got to adjust. But then from that point, I learned how to set goals. And that was the lesson through that experience was I learned how to set goals. And realize that basketball ain't going to last forever. What people tell you when you were younger, one day the ball will stop bouncing.
For everybody. Even LeBron, who has $1 billion, at some point, he's not going to play basketball.
But I think he's learned through his camp, and he's been preparing. I think this whole move to L.A., and we can get into that later, but this whole move to L.A. was his platform of after basketball.
Set it up.
So, when I talk to kids now, it's my main question through training, either through training, coaching, just coming to speak, what goes back to your point earlier. what are your goals?
What's your goals?
Because if you don't set them and you don't put them out there, the world is gonna put them there for you.
And,
Right.
then you're gonna be on a route that you don't want to go on.
Yeah,
You're gonna be on a
you
route.
won't see anything manifest itself because you haven't put it in the atmosphere.
But I go back to what I was saying earlier. Go to the league if you can right now.
Yeah,
Go get the money right now.
if that's your goal.
If that's your goal.
If that's your goal.
If that's your goal. I think every basketball player, most of them, wanna make some money. I'm saying league because it's 50 leagues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about NBA
We
league.
got FIBA in Europe. We got
Yeah, you got a lot of leagues. So it's like TBT a league now. You know what I'm saying? Some cats might train all year to play for that summer and see if I can win. You know, then you got these money tournaments that's going on now. That's bringing bigger and bigger
money,
pots.
big money.
So you talking about $10,000-$15,000 a weekend. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a team of 7 or so, and y'all just traveling going to tournaments, you might make $5,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? On weekends, you off weekdays. that might be your job. So it's like you say, what's your goals? And it's going back to you don't have to go to the league no more. Some kids, I know a kid gonna come out probably this year. Man, look, he just wanted he don't care for school no more. He just want to go to the league. A-league.
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 You got plenty of opportunities.
I'll say when we're talking about goals, I'll say this one more time. I want to broaden a lot of people's vision on sports and basketball in specific. Whether you're playing basketball, football, baseball, tennis, I don't care what you're playing. Going to the league is one thing. That's a huge thing. But when you're talking about your goals, if you want to be financially stable, there's other things that you can do. You got analysts out here making $1 million, $2 million. You got podcasts. You got it's 50 million avenues that you can do. You got sports anchors, sports analysts. You got people who go into different programs and they just help and critique that program. So it's a lot of things that you can do other than just actually playing the sport, to be around the sport and make a good living. And that's one thing I probably wasn't as informed on as I should have been as a youngster, because a dream job of mine right now would be on ESPN or to be on Fox Undisputed with Shannon and Skip. Yeah. Shout out to Shannon. That's one of my favorite guys. And Jalen Rose too.
I'm starting to hate Shannon on the low with all this LeBron talk.
Shannon and Jalen.
We about to get into that for a quick second.
But yeah, my point is to all the young kids, make sure you understand all of the options that you have, because playing is one option. It's a great option, but you can be around and in the sport.
No
and
question.
Do several different things.
And that's a big shout out to Content Media, who is actually producing and putting this all together for us. So,
content in the building.
There are different avenues, and I know a number of different cats that are out there that just picked up a camera and started making something happen. And that's half of the battle. That's what, like Luke said, that's with any sport, that's with anything you're doing. Sometimes you just got to pick up that ball, pick up that camera, pick up that towel, whatever it may be, that notepad, and just start making things happen. So we want to shift gears a little bit because we're getting to the tail end of this, but I know this was a hot button when we discussed it on our video chat the other day. And we're talking about cats that are like that, or who is the guy, who is not the guy. I know y'all big LeBron fans. We had a huge debate and huge discussion about LeBron James. So I want to get, because you initiated that conversation. So I want to.
The segment is he like that? That's the segment. Is he like that? This not for Bron. This not for Tom Brady. This not for Kobe. This not like they. All them folks is like that. This not for Giannis. The first guy is. I have people telling me this guy's not like that. I have people telling me he's too small. I have people telling me he is a liability on defense. I have people telling me that he just is a scorer. I want to open the chat, open the debate. Is Trae Young like that? Atlanta Hawks.
Trae Young.
I want y'all two to give me where you stand on this, and then I'm gonna tell you where I stand on it.
I think right now I look at it from a couple different perspectives. One, I look at it from the purest just hooping standpoint. So I'll answer that in a second. The initial answer is I think he's like that for the business. Right? For the business of basketball, he is like that because he entertains and he's productive. When you got the ball in your hand and you can do whatever it is you want to do and you're supposed to be that guy, I think he's fulfilled everything that we've been looking for. From a purist standpoint, right? When we talk about if we're going to go over to Sonny's or over to the park, Friars Gate or wherever, and we just going to hoop it out, yeah, he too little. He gonna get served up, but they don't play. This goes back. This goes back to the original.
Let's keep it to the NBA game because we can open it up wider.
But this goes back to the original discussion of is the game being dulled down? Because if we're talking about when we came through, and the attitudes towards guys that size that just wanted to come down and score points, I remember the old heads and some of the things they would say about little guys and wanting to do all of that. Oh, we coming down on the other end. You got to D up. But because of the way the league is set up now, you ain't got to play defense. They just want you to score points. So is he like that for the business of the NBA and they need it? He's like that. The boy can hoop now. We can't discard that. So I'm going to let Snacks answer, but we can't discard that he can't hoop now.
My personal opinion, at first, I thought he was a little overrated. But I'm not a fan, you know what I'm saying? But I watch basketball. He could play. But I think that anybody who averaged 27, 28, 30 points a game in the NBA.
29.6.
His body of work speaks.
You like that. You know what I'm saying?
20.
Like 30 points a game in the NBA.
We need a statistician to be able to pull that stuff up.
9.6 points this year.
You like
9.3 assists.
But I think he one of them players who I don't think he really make a team better. You know what I'm saying? 30 points a game, but 17.
It's Chris Bosh in Toronto.
No, Chris Bosh went to the playoffs, though.
Chris Bosh is an issue, bro.
No, I got that. But my point is,
but I don't think
you
he
can
make his
be
team.
on bad teams.
Bradley
Beal,
yeah.
Washington.
I think he overrated. Not like that.
He can hoop. But
Bradley
he's on a
Beal
bad
is
team.
not
All
like
right,
that.
so we gotta get back to Trae Young. We gotta get back to Trae Young.
I think
Get back to
hold on,
Trae Young.
Let me get my sentiment. Let Snacks finish.
But to answer the question,
Men lie, women lie.
yeah,
Numbers don't.
He averaged
Numbers
30.
don't
You
lie.
got to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can't knock somebody who averaged 30.
My point, my sentiments are very simple. We ain't got to go back and forth about this. People, listen. Anybody that averaged 30 points in the national, 29.6, we rounding up. Anybody that averaged 30 points in the NBA got game, period. Don't get it twisted. Points don't mean everything because fools go, somebody can average 15 points and be terrible. You're just the second option on a terrible team. You're getting up shots. Somebody can average 12 points for a streak of 20 games and be terrible. It's a lot of fools go, but 30 points and 9 assists a game for a season in the NBA is not fool's gold. I don't care. Yeah,
if he was on the Milwaukee Bucks, number one team in the East, or who's the number one in the West? The Lakers.
Come on, bro.
Would he still be able to be as productive as he is?
Offensively, yes. Now, if the question is what kind of all-around player is he?
Oh, yeah,
That's
he'd be
different.
great.
Where does he
of course,
fit
he's a liability
in
on
LA?
defense.
In your opinion, where would he fit in?
He's a starter for sure.
But where does he fit in?
As far as what? Like,
Is he a 1? Is he a 2 option? Is he a 3rd option?
Bron is the ball handler in LA, but what Trae Young would do in LA, let me tell you what he would do.
Braun not the ball handler. He's in LA. He is. Braun never wanted to be a ball handler.
But he is. Let's not get on.
But
Braun.
the last 5 minutes of the game. But the last 5 minutes. Of the
Trae
game.
Young in LA gets more open shots than he does now. The defense is catering to him now. The defense is catering. He ain't got to do nothing but catch and shoot.
That's not his game.
I mean, see, now he get 30 because it's like, okay, give him 30. Who the hell else going to score 90? So it's like, part of it is like, bro, they going to lose anyway. They ain't nobody else can score. Let him get off. If that's my if I'm coaching a team against him, if Trae Young get 30, that's fine.
If Trae Young
You know what I'm
had
saying? If
more
he
help, he would be just as
But that's what I'm
effective
saying.
and
Like,
win
we're
more
not
games.
doubling Trae Young for what? Let him get 30.
And I'm going to give a shout out real quick to Brandon Goodwin. Young boy can play. He's in Atlanta right now. He's actually a Columbia native. Grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. But just wanted to give a shout out to Be Good.
But if I'm a coach, I'm not doubling Trae Young. Ain't nobody else can score 20 on that team. So it's like, let him get off. Let him get 30, 35. Right. It is what it is. It's like Kimba's situation. Kimba, great player, but Charlotte can't win over 40 games in 8 years. So it's like, let them get 30, 35. We don't know how – this year I thought we was going to find out how good Kimba was. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think – some of them cats, like, they kind of a wash because some of them might go to – it's hard to tell right now if they like that or not like that on these kind of teams. Trae Young got 17 wins. So
what year is this, fam?
Second year? Second year. Yeah. Second year.
For Trae, the second year.
This is second year.
Yes,
We'll find out by year 5.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it. So let's get the number 2.
Second guy. This guy, I'm gonna go ahead and give you his stats. 28.7 points a game this year, 9.3 rebounds this year, 8.7 assists this year. Is Luka Doncic like that?
Like that. Luka Doncic special. Certified. Like he Hall of Famer.
Doncic.
He all everything.
Hall of Famer?
All everything. He's special. Because without him, without Luka goddamn Doncic, Dallas might be have a top 5 pick. Dallas is the New York Knicks without Luka Doncic, not in the 4th seed.
You got him as a Hall of Famer
right now.
This early in his
right
career?
now. That dude is special, dog.
I think the thing that makes him special, his maturation started when he was 15, 16 years old.
That's
playing
my
with
point
grown
I'm
men.
bringing up. That's
So he's gotten a chance to learn how to play basketball. And this, again, I can turn this all the way back to the beginning. Yeah. When you got young kids and you think about a guy like a John Wall, extremely athletic. Mm-hmm. It took me years. It's taken a lot of guys years to figure out wall to wall, fast, up and down, jumping. Ain't gonna.
That's not.
Father Time is gonna catch you.
Correct.
Now where Luka is special, he doesn't have any of that.
None.
He understands who he. I always look at guys like Devin Downing, right? Who
shout out to Chester, South Carolina, Devin Downing.
At his size, that was always the question. Too small. He's too. The thing that made Devin great was Devin knew he was small. Yeah. He didn't want to be anything other than what he was. Yeah. So his game was tailored around what I am. Mm-hmm. I was 5'11". I could play like I was 6'4", 6'5", mm-hmm. But in reality, I'm 5'11". Luka at 6'8", 6'9", 6'8", yeah. He ain't dunking over nobody. He hadn't. He ain't gonna start. No.
6'7", 230.
6'7", 230.
21 years old.
He gonna play with all of this up here.
Snacks, finish your thoughts as far as Luka Doncic.
I'm gonna make a bold statement right quick. Luka Doncic.
I'm already thrown off the Hall of Fame, joint.
Luka Doncic, if he wins 2 championships,
don't say what you. I know what you're about to say.
We have a better career than LeBron James. Numbers. If he stay healthy and win some championships, Luka Doncic's numbers. Say his numbers again.
The thoughts.
When has LeBron did? Say them numbers again. His career.
The thoughts.
Say the numbers again.
The thoughts and statements of Snacks do not represent.
Say the numbers
podcast.
again. Has LeBron James ever had them numbers?
First of all, don't. I'm sorry, audience.
Luka
did that.
Luka first 2 years.
Luka name nowhere near Bron name right now. Let's stop.
Why not? He was a top 2 pick.
Let's stop that.
Top 3 pick.
Bron at 21. Bron went in the league at what?
Luka
19?
18 or 19.
They on the same track.
Yeah, say it again.
They on the same track.
Exactly.
Bron.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
First of all,
Bron took what?
Bron does every single thing in the.
You just said the same. He said the man averaged 27, 29.
Bron does everything in the game better than Luka. Maybe not shooting threes. Everything.
He better passer than Luka?
Yes.
No.
And let me shut this down
the same
right
height.
now. Let me shut this down right now. What year did Bron take them nobodies on the Cavs to the championship?
07.
07. Luka on that 07 team, does he take that team to the finals? Nobody at 2 years in the league can be saying that they're a Hall of Famer. A Hall of Famer is somebody, their career, their resume puts them in the Hall of Fame. He simply doesn't have enough time.
But that's fine. But let's give Luka till what year? That would have been year 7 for him.
Well, for
Luka's
LeBron.
not taking
LeBron went year
nobody
3.
to the championship.
Year
How
4.
about that?
Year 4.
He went year 4.
Luka
So
as
he
the
got
number
2 more
one
years.
option is not taking anybody to the
Bro,
championship.
nobody said they was going to be the 4th seed in the West this year.
Luka as
You know
the
what I'm
number
saying?
one option is not leading any team.
I think he's the most valuable player in the NBA right now. Take Luka off that team. They the New York Knicks top 3 to 5 pick. Take LeBron James off of the Lakers. They still win 40 games.
The end of segment right here. Is he like that? Snacks. Is Trae Young like that? Yes or no? Is Trae Young like that?
Yup.
In my opinion, most definitely Trae Young is like that. Is Luka Doncic like that?
Absolutely.
Is Luka Doncic like that?
Yup.
And I agree. I guess we have a consensus.
I want to thank y'all for taking time to listen to us. Give a big shout out again to Content Media for putting this together. I want to thank my brother Luke, my brother Snacks for coming together. During these times, we might as well make good on it. So, again, we just 3 brothers in a barbershop. Y'all take it easy. Peace.